Okay, so we've just completed our presentations, and everyone did a actually really nice job on the presentations. And I'd like to go over Module 3, just to review it a little bit, just to make sure that, if you have any questions that are still outlined. All right, so Module 3, let me get this where I want it. All right. There we go. All right, so Modules 3 was about web design basics, and the gist of the chapter in the module was really all about best practices, really, right? How we look at websites, not only for our own purposes as we build them, but look at websites to analyze them and see if they are really adhering to some of those basic traits that we want all websites to have. You had 3 assignments in this particular module. You had the group evaluation team post, which I think was due just a couple of days after this was made available. I think on Thursday, I believe it was due. No, Wednesday it was due, I believe. And then you had a quiz and then the topic approval, right? So that was all due in Module 3. You had a series of objectives, of course. It was Chapter 3, and then you had that web reading, which was really just a list of the best practices, which in this case you've already completed because we've done the presentation today. Okay. The companion website, of course, was there for you to update any changes to the book content and to get extra more information about the chapter. Key concepts, of course, the classroom screencasts, which these will be available probably tomorrow sometime. Tutorials, I don't believe there were any tutorials in this particular module, only because we weren't doing any coding per the book, that is. We did our own coding in class. And then your web design evaluation, which we'll cover in just a little bit more in detail of what's left to be submitted. Okay. Anybody get a chance to look at the creating interactive prototypes video? Anyone take a look at those? Good. I'm glad all of you did. I appreciate that. That's fantastic. All right. Student lab files, you didn't have any because we weren't doing any coding in this particular chapter. Of course, you have the review games, and I think one of the other items that were important here, of course, the quiz, which we'll be covering in more detail in just a moment, is this web host, right? I've been talking about the web hosts, I think, since orientation and the project itself. And so I included this here because you really now, from that point last week, you had 2 weeks to really kind of get yourself organized with an account at some host of your choice. I provided you with one and then added an additional host that was free with no ads. Your job was to really start to create the account, get comfortable with that host, and try to upload some files. Namely, Module 2 would have been a good example, or a good module to upload the files from the case study, just to get some practice, because you're going to be needing this in Module 4, right? As it indicated in the time to choose a web host kind of information. Okay. And then, of course, your topic approval, which was submitted. So let's take a look at that for a moment and see if you have any questions about the topic approval assignment. So any issues, questions about the topic approval? Some of you have already submitted your topic approval way before it was due, which is great because I basically got back to you saying, yeah, it's approved, or no, it's not. Right? We're going to have to take a look at this and revise it a bit. Okay? So at this point, I'm starting to already grade those, and those should be completed by tomorrow or Friday. So you should know now if your topic is approved. Okay. Yeah. Yep. No, just so you submit it by the due date, the initial one, right? Then we go back and forth and discuss your topic, and once it's approved, it's approved, and then your 0, right, in your topic approval because it hasn't been approved will then be changed to whatever score is appropriate. Yeah. So if you have a 0, it doesn't mean that you're going to get a 0 necessarily for that assignment. It just means that your topic was either not approved, right, or you didn't submit it, right? So if you didn't submit it, well, that's a problem as well. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Great. So let's go back to Module 3. So that was basically Module 3. Okay. Any other questions? Okay.